Hello, how's everyone doing? My name's Vicky, and today I want to talk to you about something that I learned yesterday from Ray Higdon. He's one of my mentors, and something that he brought up on his free Coaching Friday training, it really kind of stuck with me. I've been doing some, as it's like the end of the decade, I've been doing some self-reflection. I've been thinking about the last, not just this year, but the last 10 years of my life, thinking like all the different things that have happened over the last 10 years, like the things that I've done, like the way my life's gone, all those kinds of things. And he was talking about, like, what Ray was talking about was, patterns and programs, like the way our brain creates programs and that dictate how we behave. And I was kind of really blown away because his live, it really helped me figure out my pattern. It really kind of helped figure out my program, and I just kind of want to come on and just kind of share with you how it's affected the last 10 years of my life, because this program hasn't only just been created, it was created in my mind a long time ago. I just kind of want to share it with you, and hopefully maybe it can help you, because every single one of us on planet Earth, our brains all create programs. Like, it all dictates our patterns of behavior, and more often than not, they're not positive patterns. They're often very negative. They sabotage us, they stop us getting what we want. I just kind of want to share my realization with you in the hopes that it could help some of you going forward into 2020. So to kind of really I need to kind of share a little bit about, for it to make sense, I need to kind of share a little bit about how my mind created this particular program that I have, like going back as early as my childhood. So I'm just going to kind of get started without going into like too much detail. I mean, I did not have a awful childhood. I just want to say that it was not awful. Like people have had way worse than me. It was not anything incredibly traumatic or anything like that. Okay, it was just, on the whole, it was very normal. Okay, but I had a lot of struggles, okay, growing up, and I feel as though this particular program, okay, so I figured out that my brain created a program of I don't need you. Like, my brain created that. I feel like I don't even know when it created it. It's something that it was created subconsciously when I was a child, and then by the time I was 18, 19, I feel like it was very solidly in place, and it's dictated my life ever since. Okay? And so when I was growing up, I feel like I was always made to feel disliked, like a bit of a problem. I was never really encouraged, except in school. I had awesome teachers in school. I always was praised. I did well in school. I loved school. I really, my teachers liked me and I liked my teachers. So that was never, this was at home, okay? Like, my school was awesome, okay? My opinion wasn't very valid. Like, whenever I had something to say, it wasn't really listened to or taken seriously. I was never really encouraged at home. I was told to be quiet a lot. Like, they would never, if I had a good day in school, no one was ever really interested in hearing about it. I just never ever felt like my opinion or my voice mattered, okay? And I feel like where this program was created was whenever I did feel like happy and relaxed, because a lot of the times at home growing up I was not happy. I was just very like unhappy child, very unhappy teenager. And whenever I kind of did feel relaxed and happy, around my family, like there would always be something to provoke it. Like maybe someone would say something to provoke me. I was constantly complained about, like really not made to feel like good enough, like a disappointment. Like, and I know I don't share this to make anyone feel sorry for me or anything. That's not what this live is about. I'm just trying to kind of explain where my programming came from, okay? So by the time I was like 18 or 19, I feel like my brain had created this program of, okay, I don't need you. I learned to go through life, and this is like the last 10 years, I learned to go through life with my guard up. I began to associate life, like letting your guard down and letting people in, with pain, because that was how like it had been as a child. Sometimes I would feel very ganged up on and attacked, and so my brain created this program of like, okay, I don't need anybody. Like, and when I like got out on my own, I feel like I would go through life with my guard up. I never really allowed people to get close to me. And the area of my life where I saw that way of thinking did the most damage was in my relationships. Like, if I got into a relationship with somebody, I would unconsciously make sure that the relationship didn't work out. I would like behave in a way that would make sure the relationship would end. Maybe I would be overly needy, maybe I would be demanding, maybe I would just be distrustful and suspicious. Like, because I had very, very low self-esteem. I couldn't ever think why anybody would want to be with me. Just because of the way I grew up, I could never imagine why anybody would want to spend their free time with me. Like, it didn't make sense. So, like, it would be really, like, I would behave in a way that would make the relationship end. So, like I say, maybe I would be needy, suspicious, jealous. Like, I'm not proud of it. But now I see that the pattern that was created was kind of dictating how I was behaving, because I felt so unworthy. Like, I felt so unworthy of being loved. I like decided, like, I kind of went into like protection mode. Like, I started to live my life with this wall up that I couldn't let anyone in. And like I say, if I did get into a relationship, I would behave in a way that made sure it ended so that I would be alone again. Like, obviously all unconsciously. Like, my subconscious, this program was dictating my pattern of behavior. And so like this like went on for years, like different situations in my life, but my relationships was the area where like it's that pattern. It seems to have affected that area of my relationship the most. Okay, because obviously in a relationship you gotta let someone in, and I I learned not to do that. I began to associate letting people in and being vulnerable with pain. If you let someone in, they'll just take advantage of you. If you let someone in, they'll just want to hurt you. Like, that was the belief system that my mind had created in order to protect me. Remember, our brains, they want to keep us safe. They want to keep us alive. That's its job. It doesn't care about our happiness. It doesn't care if we achieve our goals. Its purpose is to keep us alive. And so that was what my brain had done. I learned to just be okay with, I've never had, like, as an adult, I've never had lots and lots of people around me. I feel like I'm very emotionally independent. which is good. I mean, emotional independence is important, right? It's important to be true to who you are, but it creates problems when like you don't allow anyone near you like I did. And I see now how that has affected, like, especially the last decade. This whole like 10-year cycle is wrapping up for all of us. And so I kind of like really, and as I had low self-esteem, like the kind of people that I would get into relationships with, they were not great people themselves. They would often be very narcissistic, because people with low self-esteem in relationships do tend to attract those types of people. I mean, because, you know, someone with low self-esteem, they don't speak up, they're easy to manipulate, it's easy to control them, you know, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, it's not like I ever ruined anything amazing, right? And you know what I would tell myself? I would be like, as an excuse for my bad behavior in relationships, because I, you know, was unconsciously trying to make it end, right? I would be like, oh, well, the right one, you know, if it's meant to be, it'll work out with the right one. Like, yeah, but does that mean I have to not be responsible for working on myself? No. You know, we're all responsible for ourselves. And so, like, just because I may come across the right one, if I behave badly in that relationship, does that mean that person has to stick around? No, of course not. You know, if they're a decent human being and they've got their crap together, they're probably looking for someone else who has their crap together too. Like, they don't want to deal with my drama. I don't even want to deal with it. That's why I do personal development, so I can improve and grow and change and create a better life for myself than has been in the last 10 years. Okay, so I kind of really want to challenge some of you. Maybe you're resonating with this. Maybe you've created, maybe you're looking back on the last 10 years of your life and you're thinking the same as me, like, oh my god, that's why things went the way they did. It was my programming, because that's what it is. It's our programming that dictates our behavior. And so, like, obviously we are programmed as children, completely like unaware of it, of course. And it's usually something that happens with authority figures in our life. So maybe like we're told something by a parent or a teacher. It's almost always negative, unfortunately. Like I said, I grew up very unhappy. I don't want to kind of like sound like I'm complaining, because I can't complain. I mean, I always ate food, I always slept in a bed, I always had clothes, I always had shoes, but just like emotionally, like as a child, I struggled, okay? I was a child that I found it hard to express myself healthily. So, as a child, I would, not always communicate in the right way, but I think that's because I never ever felt heard. And so, yeah, I really, really want to challenge you guys to really kind of look back, do some self-reflection. There's no better time at the end than at the end of a decade to do self-reflection. And like, if you want to figure out what kind of program is running, like, in your mind, it's not always I don't need you. Sometimes it's like something completely different. That's the one that my mind created. Like, look back over your life and think about like the different situations you've been in. Think about like, how does the same thing happen over and over? And like, really like think about like the different situations. How have you behaved in the past? And that should tell you what your programming is. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. I actually have a list, if you would like to get it, of 45 different New Year's resolution ideas. If you're, looking to make a change in 2020 and beyond, I mean, I think this could really help you. I mean, it's 45 different New Year's resolution ideas. If you would like me to send that to you, reach out to me or comment below. I'd be happy to send it over to you absolutely free. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will speak to you later. Bye.